Hello and welcome to my crafty corner here on YouTube. My name is Elo and my channel is called aKnittersSoul, and as the name suggests, knitting is definitely the craft that is closest to my heart. I sometimes dabble into crochet, I have picked up spinning, I do sometimes also sew and embroider, but today there's only knitting content for sure. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's always lovely having you spending time with me, and if you're new, I do hope you find something to your liking, and if you do, don't hesitate hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell it's called, as you will then be notified whenever I release a new episode. Where to find me? The easiest are definitely Instagram and Ravelry. I will post the handles down below, and if you feel like supporting me, I do also have a Ko-fi account, but as I think I said, and maybe I thought, this is a free channel. You do not have to pay anything in order to watch me, so yeah, just tag along and hope you find something you're liking. Yeah. Anyhow, as per usual, I will be linking everything I talk about down below. If I do miss out on something or forget to write it down, then don't hesitate reaching out to me. And yeah, let me start off with thank you so much to every single one of you who reached out to me after my last episode, which is, I know, 3 months ago already. I've had since really great conversations with people, and yeah, it just goes to show how much love there is in the knitting community, and to each and every one of you who did reach out to me, thank you so very much, because that was very much appreciated. And yeah, the reason for my hiatus from this channel has just simply been that I needed to take a little break from social media. I needed to take care of myself. So yeah, I know that some replies have come late. Maybe there are some replies that still haven't been posted by me, and that's just, as I said, I needed to take a break from social media and everything that comes with it. So I hope you don't take it personally. I just needed a little break. So since it's been a minute since I podcasted last, there's quite a bit to show. So I will try to be effective and not linger too much on every single thing. I'm not gonna promise I'm gonna succeed, because I do tend to get a little bit overexcited about things when I share, but yeah, just skip ahead a little bit if it gets too much. But let's get off with we'll start off with not get off let's start with what I'm wearing. I will insert the video. This is my Lomme sweater by Sari Norlund, and yeah, I have a knit along going on with it, and it started on the 1st of January this year and will run until the end of March. And if you now feel like, oh, maybe you want to tag along on this one and you haven't started it yet, I'm quite sure you will be able to finish it, because it is knit on quite big needles and it does grow quite quickly. So if you haven't joined yet, then do come along, and maybe you have a UFO that needs to be finished, bring it in. I'm not gonna say no, you can't bring it because it was started before the 1st of January. But let's talk about my sweater. We can start off with the yarns that I used. My original plan was to use, and this is going to be a little bit of crinkling, so apologies. these were my original colors, which is this light heathered gray and the burgundy red. They are both Plötulopi by... I'm realizing my picture is showing off. It looks to me like it's mirrored. I'll see if I can do something post filming, so to say, in editing studio. Anyhow, these two colors were my original plan: Plötulopi, the heathered gray, and the red, held together with a strand of silk my hair. And for the light gray, I had this one from Dalagarn, which is Tynkit Silk Erla. And it is a little bit of a... I'm not sure, I think it's called the chalk. So it has a little bit of this sort of a lilac-y kind of a color to it. And the red, I did buy this long mohair luxe in the colorway 164. Which is also this beautiful deep burgundy red. And I started off knitting that, and I was whizzing away, and I didn't like the way it was looking. Mainly because the red Plötulopi, probably the mohair didn't help, but the red Plötulopi was kind of, I think you can see there, it gives a halo that kind of goes, actually it doesn't show that well on camera, I think. Anywho, it's giving quite a strong pinkish reddish hue to the light gray, which in itself would have been fine if I had an all over colorwork sweater, but this is not an all over sweater, colorwork sweater, so I would have had like a pink halo going through the pattern, but not on the body and the sleeves, and I didn't want that effect. I did at one point consider that once I got to the body and the sleeves where there was no patterning, I would have swapped out the kid silk there for something that had a little bit of a pinky hue, a pink color. It had a pink color. It was pink. It's called woman. But that would have meant that I would have to go back to the shop and buy some mohair and then not be guaranteed I would get the result that I wanted. So I went back to the thinking box, because as you can see I have totally different colors, and what I opted for here as the color contrast colors is Fibel from Raumagarn. And these are the colorways 13 pink and 28 purple clover. So I went for this one instead because it's still lightweight, it's still 100% wool. I like the colors. I knew it wasn't gonna give that kind of fluff, because it's probably not gonna show, but the Plötulopi does have a little bit of a halo, just like as mohair does. So yeah, where I was going with that thought, I'm not sure. Anyway, I swapped out the colors. I restarted a couple times. That's why I have a neckband. I have an attempt of German short rows, and I must say at one point I did lose my mojo, and that's also one of the reasons for why I haven't podcasted, and yeah, why I've been missing in action. I'm all over the place, I'm sorry. But also I restarted the neckband twice. I started this one sort of one size and double band, and I think this one maybe belongs to this one. Anyway, I thought, okay, I'm not gonna rip out this, I'm gonna keep it, I'll show it, and then I'll reuse the neckband. Ended up not reusing the neckband. I did knit another neckband which was a size smaller, but I just realized I didn't want a double neckband, which this is. That's what the pattern calls for, and instead of I have gone for a single layered neckband, which I'm super happy with, because I love the look of it more for this sweater. I'm in general more fan of single layer neckbands. That's my personal preference. What else is there to say? I have changed, I'll take this off and I'll show you, because that's gonna be easier. The first band there is actually the one that is supposed to be added somewhere down below there. Yeah, because I added German short rows to the back of my neck, so you can see there is a little bit of short rows, German short rows going on. That meant that I had already knitted a couple rows extra, and I didn't. The original band that was supposed to be here is 2 rows higher, so I opted for the one that's 2 rows shorter, so it's only 4 rows instead of 6 rows, and I think that worked out just fine. And also I have omitted 2 borders of pattern there, because I didn't feel like adding them. I thought that looked fine just like that. I love the look, like the look of this. What else did I do? I did do a little bit of the German short row shaping after the pattern here, but I don't think I did as many rows as is called for in the pattern, as I already had added short rows in the back of my neck. And also another modification I did is I swapped around the order of borders on the sleeve, because I wanted to mimic kind of, or mirror, what I had going on in the yoke. That was kind of what appealed to me, and I also wanted to have the bigger flowers at the widest point, and then, as you know, the sleeve looks like it narrows, and I would have like the smaller borders, pattern borders down there. I also went down to 40 stitches, I believe, on my sleeve. I think her pattern calls for 50 stitches, like that to decrease into. So point being, I did a bit of quite a few extra decreases to get a little bit narrower sleeve, because I didn't want them to be too wide. In general, when I have quite warm sweaters, as in like they're meant to be woolly wool sweaters, I do not like having too wide sleeves, because I don't want a lot of air passing in kind of into making me feel cold. I hope that made sense. Otherwise, I think I've done pretty much as is called for in the pattern. And yeah, as you see, as you've noticed, and you know from what I've said about my colors, her version is 2 colored, and I've added a 3rd color in some strategical spots. Yeah, I'm super happy with this one. I've been wearing it a lot. I've been actually having to not wear it too much so I wouldn't wear it out before I got to show it to you people. Yeah, and I find that those yarns worked really well together. And there's one thing I want to say: if you're hesitant about working with unspun yarn, what helps me is that I often put my yarn in a glass bowl like that. So I would put it like that, and now the plastic makes it feel like it's a little too tight fit, but it works perfect having the unspun yarn in something that doesn't snag, or yeah, where yarn can easily flow and just go nice and slow, and I find it doesn't break. I don't think I broke it once. No, I don't think so. Oh, another tip actually, because I have done Italian bind off. Oh, what's happening with my fringe here? Yeah, whatever. Another tip is that when you are doing tubular bind off with unspun yarn, I would advise you to separate the pearls and knits on two separate needles, because then it doesn't snag as much when you're pulling the yarn through, or it doesn't wear the yarn out as much, or yeah. So I'm trying to think, like, there's probably some tutorials for it. Not that you need. You just take an extra needle and you pick up so that you, or like slide the stitches so that you have only knit stitches on one needle and purl stitches on the other, and then you do as you usually do with tubular bind off otherwise. And yeah, that I find at least helps me when doing the tubular bind off with unspun yarn. That's a lot of so I apologize for that. Actually, I'm thinking that since I already taken off that sweater, I'll show you another sweater that I finished, and this is not going to be in chronological order, so I will be yeah, hopping probably back and forth. And also I've used yarns for one project in the other project, and I will try to keep order, but I'm not gonna promise anything. Same goes with this one. I will add footage here of the sweater in use. Absolutely love it. This is the Bloom sweater by Elisabeth Kikernes, aka Hettestrikk. I have received the yarn for testing. Yeah, this is test knit. I received the yarn and I have received the pattern, so this is sponsored in that sense. And if you know of Elisabeth and paying attention to her designs, then she's designed quite a few different knits now with this beautiful flower motif. There are socks, there are mittens, there's a sweater. I feel like I'm missing something. Maybe not, maybe that's it. It just feels like she's made quite a few things with this motif, and it's a very or a rather easily memorize. It's easy to memorize. I couldn't bend my tongue to anything else right now, sorry. I really love the combination of these two yarns that are in this sweater. This is a new base that she has, which is a silk mohair bling, which is for sequins in there, and this is a composition of it. And the colorways that I have used are Sandbotn, which is the light beigey kind of color, and Brekkegarn, which is this beautiful, actually looks really true to color on my screen right now, this beautiful purple color, really pretty. And this is all I have left of the purple now, but that's due to that I've knit something else from it. The yarn that I've held it with is Silver Sock. There. And this is the color Vestahimmel, and these two colors are the colors that I've held together for the flowers. Yeah, and the other silver sock that I used under the base is also under the base. On the main color is Sandbotn as well. So silver sock, Sandbotn, and Vestahimmel, and silk mohair bling, which is Brekkegarn and Sandbotn. I have everything written down in my Ravelry page, so in that sense I shouldn't be spending so much time on explaining that, but I just can't help myself, I'm sorry. this is a different project, sorry. The pattern is released. Yes, it is released now, so you can get a hold of it. What I want to say about this, I'm not paid to say this, I'm saying it because I really feel it myself, is this yarn here is so soft. It is super kid mohair with 19.5 micron merino wool and 10% sequins, shimmer, and 23% silk. And I've been wanting to say all the time that this is like cashmere or something, because it's so soft. I think actually it feels even softer than some of the cashmere yarns that I've worked with before. So this is definitely something I will be using. I'm sorry, using again. Also because I have some more of it, which I will get back to in a moment. But yeah, it's a really quick, easy knit. I think I knit it on needle size 6, I believe. And I have, as you've seen on the video, I have knitted it more fitting than the loose look that she has. But hey, again, this is the beauty of knitting, that we can adapt and adjust to our likings when we make things. And that's also something I want to say about, like, going back to Lumme sweater. So it's going to be jump back to the knit along, that maybe you've been hesitant about jumping on that bandwagon of knitting Lumme because you feel like the raglan is too deep, there is no German short row shaping. I want to say, for that knit along and every single other knit along that I might host in the future, you're always very welcome to make necessary modifications so that whatever the garment is that you're knitting will fit you. So I'm never gonna disqualify you from like, as I've omitted 2 borders with a pattern there, but you can still see it's Lumme sweater but minus those 2 borders. And I've added some German short rows that changes like the top of the neck. I've changed the neckline, but all in all, it's still kind of this. You can see it's the same pattern, and I encourage you to do necessary changes so that you feel that you end up with a garment that you love. And yeah, never gonna disqualify you from participating in a knit along if or when you make these kind of modifications. I applaud you for doing that if you do that. So come along and do the changes necessary in order to knit this sweater, because I know there's quite a few people said that, you know, they find round yokes not fitting so well. They find that maybe that particular yoke is very deep. There's so many ways of modifying your round yoke knits, is that you stop doing the round increases and maybe do just a regular raglan increases, so you get the stitches that you need but you don't get them divided, so to say, evenly over your body. You get them where you need them, because we are not the same in the front and the back. So there are tutorials, there are tips and tricks out there to find or to look into, so I do advise you to do that. So this was my bloom sweater. Let's go on to next project. I'm trying to think how to carry on. I think I'm actually gonna go, this is not gonna be in chronological order because, as I said, patterns or the things I've knitted, they go into each other. So I'm going into this bag here, which is a knit bag by aKnittersSoul. And in this bag we can start off with these socks. They are the indoorsy socks. I don't remember by whom right now. I will write it on the screen. And this is knit with 1 strand of Fabel knitwear. Let me see if I can find it. Sock yarn. Fabel Did I say Fabel Knitwear? I did. It's not Fabel Knitwear. It's Drops Fabel in the colorway 121, which is this beige color. It's blowing out a little bit. And it is held together with print mohair, I believe it's called, by Sandnes Garn. This is a yarn I won a little while back. And I really enjoyed using it actually. I think it gives really beautiful result. Yeah, it's the Thin Silk mohair print. And colorway is Major Long, so I will just show it to you, and if you want to know more exactly, either pause the screen or have a look at my Ravelry page for it. But yeah, those two yarns together gave this really soft, really lovely socks. They are blowing out a little bit. Some sun is coming in really quickly, so either it's too dark or it's too bright. It's never perfect. I will try to do my best. It's giving a little bit of pooling, which I think is really fun. It really, I really like the look of it. At first I wasn't sure if I did, but the further along I got with them, I did like them. I have also done a little bit different heel than what I usually do. I have done a modified Dutch heel, meaning that this is rounded there instead of like a square tab, which I really like. I wanted to do the Dutch heel, and then I found a channel on YouTube that I don't remember the name of right now, and this lady was teaching how to do that, and she was also talking about the fit of the heels, and she did say about this sort of oh god, words, that doing the Dutch heel with a little bit of rounding there fits better than maybe the square. I haven't got much experience in now. These are the first ones I've done with a Dutch heel, so I would have to come back later on to tell you exactly how they fit in the long run or how they wear and tear. From those I'm gonna go to Magical Schlocks by Anna Enge, I believe it is. A little while back I made a whole bunch of magical wristies, so this is the same series of knits. She has also magical mittens in the same, so it's all garter stitch. You knit it back and forth. There's a German short row heel, and then you create these sort of seams with two different techniques, which are really simple, but as it is a pay-for pattern, I'm not gonna talk too much about them. And I made another pair, which is leftovers from this one plus some leftovers from other project. So yeah, trying to use up the yarn that I have, and I will now tell you the yarn that I used in these schlocks, magical schlocks. I was gifted 2 balls of Drops Lima at a Christmas gathering. This is the colorway 0619. It's a beige color, and I was a little bit unsure what to do with this yarn, because I think the yarn in itself is wonderful and beautiful and everything. I have nothing bad to say about it. The only negative about it is that it has alpaca in it, and if you've been following me for a while, you know I don't do well with alpaca, unfortunately, anymore. But then I thought, like, oh, but I want to make use of this yarn. It's pretty, it's beautiful, and I'm thinking, like, you know, as long as I put them on my feet, they're not gonna be so much up in my respiratory area and not gonna be too bothersome. But I must say, I did have a little bit problems with this yarn, unfortunately, which is such like a drag, because I do love the Drops alpaca yarns. I have worked with them before, I've loved them before, so it's really annoying that my body for some reason decided to not be a fan of alpaca anymore. Anyhow, you're not here to hear my TED talk about my alpaca allergies. So sorry about that. But maybe as you've understood, I've held the same Sunless Thin Silk Mohair print together with the Lima from Drops. And the second pair that I made, since I had still a little bit of the Lima left, I wanted to use that up, and I have worked it together with lanolin wool from Dalegarn. And this is the colorway 1437, and I held it together with, did I start off with this one? I'm not quite sure how I did this anymore, but I know that I think I started off with these together, and then I ran out of this one, or I didn't have enough of it, and I added the Drops Kit Silk in this cobalt color, which is the colorway 21. No, that's what it was. I started off with, sorry, I'm going a little bit back and forth. I started off with these two colors, which is also the lanolin wool, but this is a light blue, and it's the colorway 1429, because I gave that beginning there, and then I worked with that light blue until I didn't have enough to do the same thing on both sides, so to say, and that's when I added that one there. In hindsight also, like when I was working with this, I thought that if I had thought of it, I would have started the short rows with the light beigey color there instead, and then getting the dark heel there. But that hindsight came because I first thought I would want to make a 100% blue heel on this one, but with the way the pattern goes and the way you build up, it was very easy to do like the two colored one, or like very easy. It was easier to do the two colored one, so you wouldn't get a stripe in there was different color, or I mean, it would have worked out, but anyhow, really soft, really, really, really lovely, and I can absolutely recommend this if you want like something that's not a slipper and not a sock, but a schlock. Really, really soft, really, really lovely. So they're gonna be sort of like house socks, slippers, schlocks. Yeah, fun way of using up your leftover yarns, and really quick to get into the pattern, really quick to knit. What else is there to be said? I really enjoyed the process of it, so I can absolutely recommend you to knit these. And since we are in the lanolin wool world and these colors, yes, I have also knitted a pair of sailor slippers. I had that's alpaca kind of having some afterthought in me. I had seen these online popping up everywhere, and I was like, oh yeah, they're cute. But I was thinking like, nah, I'll see if I want to make them or not. And actually at one point I was like, oh, maybe I do have to make these. And the reason why I thought that thought suddenly was like, because somebody had made this sort of noops, or nuput, like bubbles, and added them everywhere, and I thought that was so fun and clever, so that made me want to make this actually. But I thought like, you know, I'll make a pair that's not with the bubbles, just to try it out first and see how I like the process. But yeah, for now these are the only pair I have made. I'm thinking that if I would make them again, I would definitely make them narrower, because they're quite wide, I find, and I do have a quite wide foot, so I would definitely narrow them quite a bit. I made some stitches, but they're easy to knit, they're fun. You can use the scraps in a very fun way, you know, you can stripe it differently, you can fade, you can do whatever, and it does have shaping for the toes, so you have left foot and right foot on your slippers. And why I transitioned into this one is because I have used the same yarns here as well, which are the lanolin wool yarns. The dark blue, the light blue, the green, and I think I had to add a little bit of... I thought I had also some of the dark, like charcoal green here, or charcoal. Doesn't really matter. And also I had the white, of course. But yeah, they're fun. Quick knit. But yeah, if you have narrow feet, I would suggest you knit them a little bit narrow. I mean, as in omit some stitches. And yeah, they're gonna be nice and warm in the winter time, for sure. So I'm thinking, since I'm on a choo-choo train of socks and slippers, I will carry on with some more socks, because I do have some more socks. As I said, not everything is gonna be chronological. As you can see from the bag and the color of the yarn, this was knit straight after Christmas time, or like straight after Christmas. So it's still kind of like the early days of Christmas. That's why it's still living in this bag, because I had to show it to you. It's such a beautiful bag. I have spoken about it before. It's made the knit quilter Nina. She makes really great bags, really pretty bags, and I loved the backing fabric. I loved the gnomes on this. It's just beautiful. So I did say that I struggled with a little bit of a knitting mojo after Christmas. And what do I do when I struggle with knitting mojo? I tend to cast on things that are simple, and socks. Okay, I'm sorry, I keep on fiddling with my fringe, but it's just bothering me. I cast on simple things that I don't need to think with, not really. I know like how to just knit them. I don't need to check any patterns. I just do. And I had this skein of yarn that I've been, or like skein, a ball of yarn that I've had in my stash for quite some time. And it's the Universe Christmas Sock Wool by Hobby. And it's the colorway 21. And I've had plans to make Christmas socks from them for a very long time, but for some reason the yarn didn't call my name, and it didn't call my name, and it didn't call my name, and I thought, but I do want to make something Christmassy, so let me have a go at it. So I did. I have done an afterthought heel with these ones because I wanted the fade to not be broken, as I saw that the fade was really long and soft and nice. I didn't want to break that fade, so I knitted them top down, and yeah, did the afterthought heel. And if I do an afterthought heel, I like to put in, or like knit in a thread which I can pick out afterwards, so I mean you can cut, but I choose to do that way because I know how long I need to knit the foot for in order, you know, to get the size that I want, or at least the sizes I know quite well. I have knitted quite many times. That's when I can do that, because then I know where to place my heels. So yeah, I tried to match also the fade from going from the light and out, so you kind of mimic the light and going into dark there as well. I must say I was quite annoyed with this yarn, because at one point there was a knot. There it is, proof. In the middle of my beautiful fade there was suddenly a knot, and I was like, no, that's gonna ruin my whole long fade that I was so enjoying. But I did manage to find sort of where the fade continued and keep on knitting and get a quite nice result in the end. You can see there's a little bit of difference, but it's all good. And once those first ones were done, I cast on the second pair, and I knew I was not gonna have necessarily enough for 2 matching socks from the ball that I had, because I had only 100 grams to start off with. And I thought, like, okay, I'll do some fading, matching, mixing, so to say. I must say I don't remember if I bought this yarn or if I had it in my stash. I think I maybe had it in my stash. Yeah, I think I did have it in my stash. So what I faded in here was Arvetta Series 317. Arvetta Filcolana. 317. Ooh. So it's this beautiful red tone there, and I held it together with a thread, a golden thread, you can see there. I don't have a tag for it, so I'm actually not quite sure. I think it might be a drops one, I'm not 100% sure, but I held that together with the red yarn so I would carry on the golden glimmer that I had there. And I had an idea that I wanted to fade it so that I would get a green toe, and I do have 2, and I managed to match them quite nicely. They're quite the same. I must say I don't mind necessarily different looking socks, but if I can, I do tend to match them as well as I can, at least. But you know, it's not a must, but I do see that I do tend to do that, because I do enjoy when I manage to make it work. And then I was still left with some yarn, and I thought, like, because maybe you noticed there's a theme, they're kind of Christmassy. Yeah, I did mention the colorway, and I thought, like, okay, what should be the last color? Like, what can I fade it into? Like, thinking of what I had left, and yeah, chit chat. I found this green in Arvetta, which is called the Juicy Green. And I found that matched the original green well enough. Like, if you look at it, you can't really tell. So I have done a little bit of fading in there. It's the colorway 279 Juicy Green. Actually, here you can tell. See, there's striping going on. So on the screen you can tell quite well that there is some fading in there. And also this one goes to show you that I have done a afterthought heel here. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. I've used up pretty much all of the yarn, so what I have left now is this, which is not a lot. We're gonna have to see what I make out of them in time, but not now. That was a really lovely sentence that made a lot of sense. No, I will figure out what to make of them with time. But yeah, these are gonna be Christmas gifts is my plan, as they are Christmassy colors. And I'm super happy, like, getting 3 pairs of socks out of 100 grams ball, so to say. It's not, I mean, it's not only 100 grams, but that 100 grams ball with Christmas yarn inspired me to make these 3s. And in hindsight also, if I would have known that there was this, or like realized that there were these long shifts and everything, I would have maybe done this sock different as well, maybe more in the style of these 2, but I'm happy with them. They're gonna be nice and warm, and I'm sure the recipients are gonna be super happy with them. And since we are on the choo-choo train of socks, I'm gonna show you another 2 pairs. And also these are 3x1 ribbing on the top and over the foot, and it's just plain on a plain stockinette at the bottom of the foot, and 1x1 ribbing in the cuff there. Yeah, I'll show you these. This is also just a plain sock with a 3x1 ribbing in the leg and the top of the foot. There is one by one ribbing in the top there. I have again done a modified Dutch heel there. You can see it has a little bit of a rounding there. And the reason these socks came to be is because Elisabeth Hettestrick, who has given me this skein of yarn, I said to her, like, no, restart. I said I could knit up something quick for her in order to show off the colorway, because this is her Hettetokt colorway, which I think is so pretty. I love the mini stripes it's creating. I'll show you on the bottom if you can really tell. I have 60 stitches. I knit on a 2.25, and it gives this really fun mini striping. And I love, like, there are places where it looks like the color has kind of faded, or yeah, I really enjoy this colorway. So much so that I'm knitting something more out of it, and I'll show that in a minute. But I think it's just so pretty. Here you see it's on a shorter, like, it's just a half of the stitches going back and forth, and you get the wider stripes. Really enjoy this. So it's sponsored in the sense that I have received yarn in order to knit her something that she can use as a sample. Was there anything else to say about that? I don't think so. I will show you the tag in a minute. I just took the socks off the sock blockers. I don't know why I did that. It's kind of counterintuitive. This is another color. Oh, it's blowing out really bad now. It's really hard to show off this colorway. It's so much richer than at least I am seeing on the screen. It's a very fun colorway. Also get these mini stripes. Maybe there you can see. Yeah, that's more like it. I have to push it all the way up in your face in order to see it. I have done a 1x1 twisted rib on this one, then gone over to 3x1. I've done a modified Dutch heel on this one as well. I've been having fun with that heel. And just the regular foot toe decreases. And this is her BFL Silky Sport Base. So I'm really curious of seeing how this wears, because I would think that with the silk content it's extra strong. I think also it has nylon in it. I will see if I can find a tag for that. So yeah, I'm really curious about seeing how it wears over time, because I would think it's stronger. Yeah, it's 60% superwash blue faced Leicester, 20% nylon, 20% silk. So this is Elisabeth's yarn, and yeah, it feels really nice. I really like the base. I do like BFL based yarn. That's not something I come across a lot here in Norway, but I like the woolly feeling, and it does have, you can really feel also the silky content. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how they wear, and now that I've shown them to you, I can actually start wearing them, which is kind of nice. I've been saving them so I could show them. I'm gonna do a quick check and see if I've actually gone through everything that has something to do with the feet. No, I have one more pair of socks that I have knitted. Cheat sheets are lovely to have. I am super inspired by being able to see yarn, see my yarn, my stash. So I have the yarn wall that maybe you remember from like some episodes ago. I used to have a yarn wall that was next to me. Since I've moved around in the room, I don't have it next to me anymore, but I can see it very nicely, so you know, I can still enjoy it. And I was looking at some skeins, or mini skeins actually in this case, on that wall, and I was like, oh, I want to make something out of these. And now I'm gonna have to think. I think the first 3 that I kind of fell for were these here. So it's this beautiful dark blue, and then you have this, it's not as blue, I would say. Well, it is blue, let's say it's blue. It's lighter blue, and then you have this spring green, which is quite yellow in its tone. This is a mini from Garnfene, and these are from my advent calendar from Fortuna. So I've had them for these 2 for quite some time, because they've been waiting for that perfect project, you know. And I thought I want to make the color palette socks by Laurel Knits. I'm not going to show you the paper because it looks crinkled. It's been in a bag. But I felt like there's still something missing there, because I thought, you know, it would be fine to use up just these colors. I don't need to have more colors. But then I was like, oh, but it's still kind of missing something. So I have this mint color, which is a 50-gram skein from Garnfene as well. So that, okay, this is starting to look like something, you know. It's a minty color, so it's picking up the blue color from there, and it kind of goes nicely into the more greeny color. But I was like, oh, still something missing. That's what is missing. So this is Arvetta. Actually, I'm lying to you. I had them in this order. I had picked out these, and then I was missing something, and this is when this came in. Doesn't really matter, does it? But this is how my brain works, you know. I start playing with colors. I'll set them beside each other and see how that works. And yeah, it's a process. It's not necessarily done in a minute, but yeah, this is how I work. The yellow is Arvetta Limelight colorway 255, and I've held, like, this is the main color, which is just a plain white Arvetta. And these are my versions of the color palette socks. I'm so happy with the way they turned out. I'm gonna show them in a rather strange angle here, but it's just with the light I need to do that. Have I done the modified? Yes, I've done a modified Dutch heel on this one as well. So fun. I've seen so many beautiful versions, and this is not necessarily gonna be my last one either, because it doesn't take much yarn. As you see, I have quite a substantial amount of a mini left, and these minis are 20-gram minis to start off with, and I believe I've used maybe half of it. Not even half. This one looks like I've used 6 grams, about 5-6 grams. This one is 5-6 grams, so it doesn't really take much, this section here, at all. So if you have small minis, you could do like a more subtle fade, going from something light to dark. You could, you know, there's so many options. Just have a look on Ravelry, on Pinterest, and you'll get so many ideas of how, like, what colors to put together if you don't have an idea on your own. Look for inspiration. There's so much to find on the lovely internet. So now I believe I'm done with all the things to do with feet. You know, one gets inspired as you do when you roam the big internet, YouTube. Next project is definitely something that came to be due to that fact. And I'm realizing I don't remember the name of it. I'm sorry, I have my cheat sheet here. This is a patchwork sitting pad. It is a free pattern. It is by Helene Rönnqvist, and I was inspired by the Norwegian knitting podcast called Bare en strikkepod. And what it is this lovely sitting pad. I have not blocked it aggressively. I have felted it slightly, and I've left it pretty much be as it is, and I love it. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. So happy with my colors. Yeah, super happy with it. I'm like, where should I put it so you can see it, admire it once while I talk to you about my choice of yarns. I think the yarn is written for, is it a double strand of sport weight, or is it for more of a, is it Aran? What's the thick, the thick, like the fritidsgarn and Vums and those kind of yarns? But I have knitted these with holding 2 strands of sport weight together, and I love the end result of it. The main color is this Villasilla yarn that I have. Let me just pull it out. It's easier like that. Villasilla. It's colorway 280. I believe it's called Bone White. So, or Bone or something. It's a bit like a heathered yarn. It almost looks like it's a lighter, like a white natural toned strand twisted together with more like a beige color. Really pretty. It gives such a beautiful result to it. And actually, when I started off with it, I had the plans of using just 3 colors, but you know, things evolve. Also I have, I think the rest of them are Finull from Rauma, so Finull from Rauma. And this one particular is colorway 0425, which is the copper red. And I have this peach 4069. This sort of olivey color, I think it is. Yeah, light olive green 0417. Muted red is this one called. It's the colorway 0469. Looks almost like tomato red, but it's not as bright of a red as it looks like on the screen. And then it's this sort of powder pink, yeah, 4067. So I started off with, as I said, thinking out I'll just use 3 colors, but I ended up using all of this just to give a little bit of accent, a little bit of fun, use up some more. And also I was trying to aim for a look where I had quite a bit of this Villasilla Bone White, whatever color. I wanted that to be sort of the main color. And then I wanted to avoid as far as I could having 2 same colored squares next to each other. I've kind of sort of, I think, succeeded with it. I'm quite happy. And I must say that if you don't see the use of these, then I'm quite surprised, because I have used these both summer, winter, you know, going camping when the evenings get kind of cold and misty, and maybe you have a camping chair that's not very warm. This is like perfect to have you under your bum. It's so soft and so lovely and warm. So, and also this pattern, it gives you 2 sizes. I have gone for the biggest size because this is like, if I go camping, this is perfect. I'm probably gonna make another one that's big one at one point, and then I'll make several ones that are smaller ones. Maybe more to have in the garden, but we'll see. This is just something I both was inspired to do because I know I have quite a bit of a stash with 100% wool, but also because I was struggling with my finger at the time, and I didn't want to knit anything that demanded that I got proper gauge. I wasn't sure if I was getting gauge with things, so yeah, I just knit things I knew I didn't need to worry about those kind of little details, as in like gauge and fit, because this fits my bum no matter what. I have knit quite a few hats since I saw you last. This one is a hat in the making. This one is definitely a hat. So I was at the knitting market. I helped Elisabeth there. That's kind of like how I ended up with that Hettetoked yarn as well, because I saw it there and we were talking about it. We were curious to see how it knits up, and yeah. But I did end up buying yarn that was not hers. I bought something that is called Lanagato VIP. This is a first of all, the colorway is 9360. It's this sort of blue lilac-y color, and this is a cashmere blend. It's 80% lana merino extra fine, irrestringable, shrink proof, 20% cashmere. So it's super soft. It's really nice, and it's quite inexpensive for a yarn that has cashmere in there. Really soft. So on the market I bought this one, which is a fingering weight, and after the market I bought the one that is Maxi VIP, same colorway, but I do feel like this one is more lilac-y and this is more bluish. Anyway, hat. I made a hat. I started off with knitting this hat as the fourth hat by Isolde Teague. I must say I love Isolde Teague's patterns because they have they very much, the ones that I've knitted or chosen to knit from her, they all start from top down. I've knitted several muscle burrows. I will show you one later on, and I just love that you can sort of use up a lot of yarn. You can just knit. It's simple, it's adaptable, and yeah, fun. When I started knitting this one, I wanted to knit a hat that was rather simple, didn't have a lot of like things going on with it. And so like I said, I started off with as a fourth hat, but then I did my own thing. I knitted until there. Don't ask me how many centimeters that is, I don't remember. And I did a whole row of knit front and back. I separated the stitches, knitted the brim because this is a double folded brim, and then I knitted the live stitches that I had knitted down there together with the live stitches from the knit front back. And you can't really there is not really like, you can't really tell what the back is, so I kind of think that's pretty nice. You can put it on whichever way and it's still looks good. You can just barely see that there is maybe something in there. But yeah, I wanted a simple hat. I wanted a double brim. I didn't want the ribbing, and yeah, I wanted to do it top down. And you could do it from bottom up, of course. Don't have to do all the fiddling with the knit front back and whatever I was doing there, but since I started the way I did, that's how it ended up. It's just a simple crown, and yeah, it's super soft and super lovely. I don't think it's gonna be the last time I use this yarn. I really enjoyed working with it, and also because I think it costed around 100 kronas for a ball of, was it 100 kronas? Just under 100 kronas I think it is for a 50-gram ball. So it's not the cheapest, but it's not most expensive either, considering that there is cashmere in this hat, or in this yarn. And as I said, talking about Isolde, I needed a simple knit when I was at the Strikke Market with Elizabeth. I wanted something I could work on while I was in her booth. So I cast this one on just before I went there, and this is knit out of a yarn that I've had in a stash for a while, which is Milla's Mikrofargeri. And this is a colorway Kirsebærblomst. There is no nylon in there, so it's just a no, it is nylon in there. Why did I say it is not? I'm mixing with another yarn. Anyway, this is 75/25 merino superwash nylon, so I was wrong. I just love the color. I love the softness of this color, and I am a person who loves quite bright colors, but sometimes I do also get drawn to more subtle colors, which is the case with this one. Sometimes I don't want to shine like a beacon when I'm walking down the street. Sometimes I want to blend in. And I think I'm gonna do a huge pivot now, since I have both the bloom sweater and the bloom sweater and the Masobara hat on me. I want to show you a shawl that I have designed. At least I've knitted it out of my head, so to say. It's not I haven't followed the pattern, and it's this one there. So this one came about because I wanted to use up some of the leftover yarn that I had for this one. I just love knitting on this one. It's so soft. I mean, so soft. And I wanted a shawl that would go with this these colors. I don't have a lot of this. I have like more pinks colors on my shawls, and like more pinky purples maybe, but not so like, yeah. So I had to knit a shawl. Didn't I? So I didn't exactly know how I wanted it to be, but I knew I wanted to have a shape like the Winter's Finery, which I've knitted quite a few times. Is where it's like you increase every second row in the middle, and you increase on every row, both beginning and end of this before beginning and end of the row. And I started off with knitting some just stockinette stitch, and I was like, well, but I want to have something extra to it, so I added these flower stitches in there, and it took a few tries to get so that the flowers hit exactly at the middle of the increase line, and I think it turned out so adorable. I'm so happy with it. So yeah, I am writing down the pattern, so maybe there's gonna be a pattern in the future. But since I'm not talking about this, I realized I need to show the yarns that I've used in there. So I did the same as I had in this one. This is why I have so little left of this one. And actually, yeah, I started off with these two and knitted as far as I could get. And then I added silk mohair because I was starting to get too little of this one, and I didn't want the color change to happen in the middle of this one, so I changed there. You can see that's it's quite a bit lighter. I changed into this silk mohair in this beautiful purple, and then once I got to the end of it, I pivoted back, so to say, and I went back to the silk mohair bling sun button. There are sequins in this yarn. I don't know if the camera is capturing or if you're seeing it. I find it really hard to capture them, but you can see them with your like eyeballs in real life. You can see them. And then I did run out of the silver sock yarns. I actually ended up finding yarn that was quite similar in the color, and this is Anina from Filcolana, which is 100% superwash merino wool. It's a yarn I have not used before. It's not necessarily going to be a last time though, because it is really nice and soft. Yeah, definitely not going to be the last one. I don't think they have a huge amount of colors, but this is nice. This is colorway 820, in case you wondered. I feel I'm like all over the place. I'm sorry. But anyway, I wanted something matching. So look at this. I am matching like crazy. And I've had some chats with some people in my life. Like, I don't necessarily need to match it, but isn't this pretty? I'm so happy with it. It's like so happy with this. Oh my god. I'm sorry, a little bit overly excited here. So yeah, so I'm thinking the working name is springing bloom, I think, because of the flowers, and you know, because this inspired me, because we are in spring. But we'll see if and when I write it down, and if it's gonna keep that name, or if something else has to or like some other name has to come forth somehow. But back to the hats that I've been knitting, because I've been knitting quite a few hats. Again, like when the mojo goes, or when you need something quick and easy to knit, then at least I gravitate to simple knits, quick knits, like socks and hats and such. So this is the Calgary hat, I believe. Yeah. Or Calgary mössa. It's by Svarta Fåret. It is a free pattern. And I have knit 2 of these. I have only one of them, so I will insert the picture or video here. The yarn that I have used is a DK weight yarn. So this is the other color knitted, and this is the color I have on me. They are both by Lykke. They are superwash merino, 100 grams to 225 meters. The yellow one is called the third Sunday, or like the third Advent. And the other one I think was the second of Advent. No, this is cherry. Sorry, I have still the second Advent hanging on my wall. Yeah, what's there to say about this hat? It's super simple, super quick knit, as I said, DK weight. You knit for a certain amount of centimeters to get this long tube, and you fold it twice, so you get 3 layers of fabric over your ears, and it has this fun little a little bit pointy tip top. Yeah, it's my happy hat. I've been using it a lot. I felt a little bit like elf-like at one point, and so unserious. Everybody else was wearing like more, not decent clothes, it's not the word, it's more, I don't know, soft, beautiful, classical things, and I would come with us. But you know, it makes me happy, so just have to remember that and not kind of get too worried about what people around me think, because I do like it. So yeah, it has this pointy tip. I mean, of course you could knit it shorter, you could pull it all the way down, and then it goes quite flat, so it doesn't really have to be that pointy, but I've been wearing it like on purpose on like that, because I like that look. So yeah, it's quite a few hats that have been knitted, as you can tell. I'm gonna show you one more thing I knitted, because I've already shown you the yarn, which was this Lanagato Vip, which is the fingering weight. The hat was the DK weight, and the shawl is the fingering weight. By the way, I'm sorry if I'm giving you whiplash with all the back and forth and everything. I've just mixed too many things together, too many projects, too many yarns. Anyway, this is the Chestnut Shawl by Elizabeth Gigernes Hettestick. And if you are acquainted with this pattern before, you will see that it is modified. It's not an asymmetric shawl. It is actually a triangular shawl. I have knitted the asymmetric shawl before. I loved it, and I knitted on quite a small gauge so that I could block it, so it was a little bit more triangular than it was asymmetric. With this one, I wanted a looser gauge. I didn't want to do like really heavy duty blocking, so I just knitted till I was approximately halfway with the yarn that I had to work with, and then I started to decrease at the end of the row instead of just carrying on of increasing as it's called for in the pattern. It's a really easy modification. You do like knit 3 together instead of like making a new chestnut there. So, and oh, this yarn is so soft and lovely. So nice. Definitely also a yarn that I will purchase again at another time and make either something for myself or as gifts for other people, because you know this makes it more affordable at times, at least when you have a little, wanna have a little bit of luxury but don't have maybe 250 kroners to spend on 25 grams of cashmere. And I'm not talking against it, because I see it has its time, its place, and I think we are all worth spending some time, spending some money on ourselves and spending some money on a little bit of luxury for ourselves. Because we do spend so much time on knitting, so it's not necessarily a good choice going for the cheapest yarn, which just doesn't have maybe necessarily the best quality, and then maybe having a having an item that's not gonna wear well or last long, because we've chosen not the best option, maybe like quality wise. And with that is not to be said that the more expensive the yarn, the more good quality, but I think we'll just need to do what suits our wallet and not feel bad about it one way or the other, you know. I do love my Fabel, Drops Fabel as a sock yarn. I love that. I think it wears well. It's affordable. So, you know, I do pivot back to using yarns like that. I do. So this was chestnut shawl, slightly modified, but super happy with it. So now I actually have a chestnut shawl for myself, because the other one I did gift away because it was not my color, even though I loved the color. And I think I have actually only one more finished object left, and this is it. This is a sort of a test knit ish. It is Perlefenes Lille Shawl. This is by Heidi Gunnes. She is one of the creative brains, so to say, behind Garnfene. And it is knit out of one of the yarns actually, which is the To rette og en vrang. So Garnfene, To rette og en vrang. And it is this so this is solid white with speckles of orange, pink and yellow, I believe. Yeah, really pretty. I just thought it was just fitting to have their yarn in her design. And this shawl is knitted from bottom up, and you do an applied lace to it, and yeah, it's rather intuitive. Once you get into it, it's really intuitive. I'm like, what's more there to say about this? It's really pretty. The lace is really pretty, I feel. I like this shape of shawl is pretty much my wheelhouse, powerhouse. This is what I like. I do like crescent shawls as well, but mainly I go for shawls that have a slight triangular kind of, oh my god, words, shape. And not necessarily the deep ones, but I do like the deep triangles as well. They have their time and space. I do have two Now I have one triangle that's really deep, that's woolly wool, and I love that when it gets really cold I can wrap it around like Outlander style, where you put it over your shoulders, around your waist, tie it together, and it gives you so much warmth. And I get the same result with Polarlis that I knitted for Elizabeth. And even though it's as asymmetrical, and actually it's quite nice, I've found out, or it's almost nicer that it is asymmetrical, because then when I I wrap it around me, I tie it on my side, meaning that if I lean back on a sofa, on a chair, whatever, I don't get that bulk of the knot or the tying of the knot in my back, and it's on my side instead. So actually I'm appreciating the asymmetric shawls more and more. But yeah, I think that this pattern is only in Norwegian. If I'm wrong, I will correct myself on the screen, but I think it is only in Norwegian. Really pretty. So you have those stitch, like moss stitch there, and you have stockinette, and yeah, these tiny little cables running along there. So yeah, really pretty. Really lovely. Now I think I'm actually done with everything I have knit. I feel like maybe I have rushed through, maybe I haven't rushed through enough. I guess I will find out once I'm editing this video. But let's move into what I have on my needles. I have actually cast on another Masarba hat because I am going for a knit event now on first coming Saturday, and then it's nice to have something that I can sit and knit on while I chitter chatter without thinking. So it's another Masarba. Oh, could you guess? So have come so far. So I have done all of my increases and I'm ready to knit round and round and round. So I will transfer this to a shorter needle. I just started it off with magic loop in the beginning, and this is Elizabeth's the Hettetukt one, the silver sock colorway Hettetukt, and I have already transferred it on my lovely new, what do you call this, yarn ball holder. I used this one when I was at the knitting market. I borrowed one when I was at the stand. It's so lovely because I could really just knit and it just turns around and I don't have to fiddle with the bag or anything. So if you haven't tried out one of these, then I can absolutely recommend one of these. This is made by Elizabeth's brother, and what she's told me is that her brother finds old tables, and I'm not exactly sure like what he does with the rest of the table, but he takes the leg of the table and turns them into these yarn ball holders. And I think, if I remember correctly, that he started actually with woodworking because Elizabeth wanted him to fix a old spinning wheel that they had in their home, and that has kind of like progressed into that him making different things among these yarn ball holders. So yeah, if you haven't tried one, I would actually recommend it. I think the only time I would not recommend it is that I saw when I was knitting with cashmere silk, which is super slippery yarn, it was kind of falling off the thing. But like just regular other yarns, perfect. So yeah, I could just stand and knit like that, and I actually knit quite a lot while I was standing there. Actually a lot thanks to that, because it wasn't in the way, I didn't have to hold on, I wasn't bound to one spot with a bag. So yeah, I have seen them around, I just have not kind of, you know, bought one of them. And this one is gifted by Elizabeth, it must be said. And I'm not talking it up because, okay, one thing, if I don't like something, I'm gonna say, oh yeah, it's nice, yeah, let's go on. But this one I actually really do enjoy. I'm never gonna try to sell you something or tell you to buy something that I don't believe in as a product myself, as in never. And I think I've said it to some of my closest friends before, that you will see a difference. Like, you know, I will talk about it, and if I'm not passionate about it, then I will say it's nice, and move on. But I really enjoy this. It was such a good tool for me to have when I was standing there and wanted to knit whilst helping people while they were looking at yarn or buying things. So yeah, that was my Muscle Barrow, another Isolde Tea pattern, as I said, or like another Muscle Barrow by Isolde Tea is the more correct way of saying it. I also have cast on something that I wanted to cast on for a very long time, which, well, yeah, quite a long time. I think the pattern came out 2 years ago or so. It is my Pavo blouse by Atelier Ajour. I will write it on the screen because I'm butchering this, I'm quite sure about it. And I have come to a point, wait, have I? Just a little moment. There. This is the Pavo blouse. I am just done with the laced pattern in the yoke. So now I just have to knit it. I'm gonna try it on now before I'm gonna keep on knitting, but there is supposed to be one more increase round on this yoke before splitting for body and sleeves. But I think it's just so pretty. I've loved it ever since I saw it. It just spoke to me. It does have some short rows, doesn't it? God, my mind just went blank. I do believe this one, yeah, it does have short rows in the neck. Sorry. It's just, and they're done so well. They're disguised. I can't see them. I'm sorry. But yeah, we are heading towards warmer times. So I thought it would be a perfect time to cast this on and start working on this. Also, since we are getting closer to the Sunnmøre Strikke Festival, the Sunnmøre Knitting Festival, I thought, since I'm gonna be helping Elizabeth there, and since I'll be helping Elizabeth, it would be nice to have with me projects that can represent her yarn, because this is her yarn. It is the cashmere silk. This one I got last year in June. And this is the Kusumbre Lys, which is this pale yellow, which was all the rage last year. Which I don't mind, because this is my color. This is like perfect for my complexion. So yeah, there's not much more to say about it. I'm working it on the recommended needle, so yeah, just pretty much following the pattern as it is. So maybe if I have been good, you'll see it as a finished object till next time. I hope so, because I want this to be on my body. And as it is t-shirt, it's not gonna demand long sleeves. It's just really working the body, and yeah, just a little bit of sleeve. I don't particularly love long sleeves, so either I'm gonna go for short sleeves as I usually do, or maybe go for 3/4. And as I'm saying 3/4, I'm like, no, I don't want 3/4. I am going for like the sleeves that are something like that. I do like them short. I don't particularly enjoy long sleeves. This I have spoken about, that I've spoken about. I have a couple more things on my needles. Oh, actually, I'm gonna show you the start of my since I spoke about my shawl before, I have started a new version of that here, and I'm using the same yarn because I want to use the same yarns I have there. just because I like the fabric I'm getting with it, and also I wanted to make something that was even maybe easier to see the pattern on. But I am thinking that at one point I will make a scrappy version. I would love to make a fade version where like the background fades but the flowers stay the same. So I have some ideas, because it doesn't really take much yarn. It's quite a big gauge, it grows quickly. So I'm thinking like a future stash buster project with this design, kind of, or give you clues on how to do a stash busting version of it. So I have started the new one. Oh, I'm sorry about the click, because it's living in my bowl. I do like using glass bowls that I maybe come into the house with different flower arrangements and what have you. So I do have that one on my needles as well. So I'm done showing you all of knits that I have finished, all of knits that I have on my needles. I have a few projects, as you know, on my needles that I have not shown, but that's because I haven't made like some of them I have made progress on, but I haven't touched them in 2 months now. So I will show them to you again once they are back in circulation. Those are just some of the things I just couldn't wrap my head around when I lost my mojo. With that said, Bloom socks that I showed you last time, they are released. The pattern is released, so they are available. So yeah, if you've been waiting for those, then go check them out. But the last finished knitted object I have is not knit by me. It's knit by a lovely knitting friend of mine, and it is this beautiful shawl. It is a triangle shawl, the perfect kind of triangle, which is not too deep and has good wingspan, so I can do this what I love to do, which is wrap it like that. Very often I don't even like knot it. Sometimes I do, but more often than not, then I just wrap it like that and do a little bit of tuck in the top, and it kind of secures and locks it everything. And I mean, I haven't checked with her if I could tell you like that it was by her, but this is her own little creation. I don't think there is any pattern for this. I think one of the yarns is Rauma Plum, as in the mohair yarn, but I don't remember. I saw her knitting it, and I was trying to hint so hard that this is my color, which it is. It is like this pale yellow. That's my color. But yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so soft, so wonderful. I feel so blessed to, you know, receive something so beautiful, because I know how many hours of work it goes into this, and I'm gonna wear this to bits, I'm sure. This is so beautiful. And now I'm actually like going to spring. This is perfect because it's soft and warm but airy at the same time, and then getting this sort of spring soft yellow color. It's, you know, perfect, if you ask me. I know that we don't all agree on the color choices, we don't all agree on the yarn choices, we don't agree on maybe pattern choices, but what we all can agree on, I think, is that, you know, we love the knits that we have, or at least I hope we do. I'm not quite sure how long I have filmed for. It's quite a bit. I think I'm gonna do a very quick acquisition bit. I also have received this pattern, Englekrans Votter. It's by Gunnar and Simonsen. I have showed you the mittens before. They call for a DK weight yarn, and doesn't really take a lot of yarn, so either if you have something in your stash or if you want to try out this new yarn Atlas by Sumness. This is like a perfect little project to do that with. And since this was gifted to me, I'm thinking that I'm gonna do a giveaway with this. So if you comment below this episode, then I will draw this in my next episode. And I'm actually thinking that maybe I will be as generous as well, that you can choose 3 colors of your liking. So the pattern and 3 balls of Atlas, so that you can make a pair. As it is in Norwegian, yeah, so this is gonna apply for the Scandinavia, those who can read Norwegian patterns. So I'm thinking that if you comment votter, then I'll know that you're interested in winning this pattern. And yeah, I'll take it from there. So I will draw this next time. So if you know that's not your jam, thank you for being here. I will include one thing. I'm probably gonna shoot in some clips from the knitting market in Oslo from January with a different booth. So if you want to see different brands there, then I will include that footage in the end of this video. But yeah, thank you for watching. If acquisitions is not your jam, I hope to see you again next time. And if you do like acquisitions, I will try not to spend a lot of time on it, but I will talk a little bit. You know, I feel like I have been super privileged of getting to know Elizabeth and working with her, and I do find that we work really well together. And she is the most generous person I know of. Yeah. So for me helping her, that one day she gifted me a fade of silk mohair of hers, which is the Blå Myra. And if you've been here before, I do love this base. I find it super soft. And again, I know that's very individual what you find soft and not, but I do find this one really, really soft. And I do have a plan for this yarn as well already. I have spoken to you about a dress plan last year. I'm hoping to start that one this year, but this one is also a plan of knitting a dress. So I have bought some yarn to go with this, but I will talk about it more oh my god, I lost the word. I will talk about it more once I get that far. I have an idea. I would have to start drafting and writing down notes, because that's gonna come from my own head. I have a plan. If I succeed, that's to be seen, but she does have a lot of like really lovely gradients, and you can get on different bases as well. So I'm thinking like the dress that I'm gonna make, I'm gonna omit this one, which is the speckly one, because the vision I have is more like of a soft gradient. Maybe find a undyed one, a white one, or something like, or light blue one in the end, because I wanted to go from dark blue into white is my idea. But yeah, that's one of my acquisitions. I also, when I was at the knitting market, I kept on going past the booth through the wardrobe yarn, and in particular because of this mini skein bundle. This is Tweedy bundle. It is so pretty. I'm not sure, it doesn't have a name of any. Yeah, so is this sort of like charcoal black? It's a purpley bluish color. This is more like a lilac-y, pinky, and it goes, it's just like really spring-like, except this one is not so spring-like. But I just could not buy this. I just had to have this, and I'm thinking that this is probably gonna be some socks, where this is gonna be in the cuff and the leg, so it's at a place in or like at a place in the sock where it's not going to wear out too quickly. And even if the foot wears out, I can always change the foot and re-knit the foot. And I mean, hello. And the speckles being these neon speckles. And like, yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of mixture. I have another yarn that I bought at that knitting festival, but no, this one actually, this is not in January. I bought it in the Christmas market, on the Christmas market. Doesn't really matter, but maybe it matters. I don't know. Maybe it matters because I don't know if she had it this time around. She wasn't even there this time around. Anyhow, sorry. Also last year, like Tweety speckles, neon speckles. Is there a trend here? I think so. This was something I saw online, and I was like, I need to have that. I haven't tried this yarn before, or this dye before. It's Garnfärgeria. Not me. There. It is thin merino tweed, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal neps. Fingering weight. And you know, I have to have enough so I can maybe make a sweater. And I think when I saw it on screen, it looked more like I think it's supposed to be undyed. And on the screen, it looks more like a white base with these tweedy specks in there. Oh, focus on that. But seeing it with my naked eye, it looks a little bit yellow, but the right kind of yellow. That's like my pale complexion yellow. So I think this is gonna be a fun garment. I'm not quite sure. I have a plan. I keep on going back and forth, so I'm not sure yet which pattern I'm gonna end up on in the end. I was gifted the Japan sleeves by Hohi Locatelli, and at one point I was thinking about that, but I am maybe leaning into just making a boxy or something like that. And if that wasn't enough tweed, I bought another one from the same yarn dye. I do believe this one is also undyed, but instead of having the really bright neon specks, you have like these more subtle ones. This one she had only one of, otherwise I would have bought a Ceres quantity as well, but this is, I guess, is gonna be maybe a shawl, a hat, or something like fun I can have up to my face. So there is a trend. I have been smitten with tweed for some reason. But I mean, hey, can you blame me? It's fun with tweedy bits. I also bought this yarn from Lista Garn. This is a yarn called Sjelefred, which is Norwegian Angora 90% and local wool, I guess 10%. It doesn't show there, but it's a 2-ply yarn. And I believe she is per today a one-man show, that she is the one. There's one lady who I have misplaced the tag. I will leave the information below. She has a little mill that she runs, and she had quite a bit of different bases there. I started off with looking at this really beautiful marine blue, like perfect blue woolly wool, but I thought like, well, I do have woolly wool, so if I'm gonna try something new from a brand new mill, then it had to be something special. That's why I went for the Angora yarn. I don't remember if she had like 100% Angora as well, or if she only had the blends, but I chose the one that has 10% wool in there in addition. But this is so soft already, like, and it does have a little bit of sheepy smell, which I like. So yeah, I'm thinking, because they are 25 grams to 150 meters, that they're gonna be something special, like accessory sorts. I've been wanting to make myself wrist warmers for a long time, but I'll see what I'll squeeze out of this, because there's quite a few meters on there. Time will show. Hopefully I will see you in not a long time. I will try to be more regular now that I am feeling better again. I feel like I'm kind of returning to the human being that I used to know before. I feel like I've been lost for a long time. So yeah, stay along for those video clips from the knitting market in Oslo if you're interested in. This is just to give a little bit of a shout out to those vendors that were there. I hope I got most of them. If not, then it's nothing personal. It's just didn't get around to doing it because maybe they were just setting it up while I was filming and just never got around to it later on. So thank you for watching and enjoy, and hopefully I'll see you next time.